Hey, one of you lovely viewers asked a quick question about the video that we did last time on the Topaz 50 and design positioning in Topaz 50. So that person, whomever it was, asked if there was a way to get the needle to go to the center of the design to show that it is centered. So I think I understand the question, but I have two answers. So I would always rather give you guys too much information than not give you the information that you need. So first of all, we're going to talk about when I load a design. So if I come to the machine and I open up any old design here and I load it, it's going to go to the center of the hooped area. So if we remember from our last video about this, we talked about, now this is an itty bitty design in a big hoop, but when I hoop my fabric, I'm paying attention to these notches in the hoop. And again, as I always say, it doesn't matter where the center of the design appears to be, it matters where these notches intersect, because the machine considers that to be the center of the hoop. So as I load my design, I look at the location. And it doesn't matter if it's a Topaz 50 or any machine that you guys have out there. The last thing you do before you press go should be to check the location. I could spend all this time locating or attaching a piece of fabric or a ready-made piece of garment to the hoop, and I center it and I make sure that the machine and I are on the same page about where that design is going. But if, like last time, the hoop was in the wrong direction and I have mishooped, that's not going to help me. If I go to the machine and it's at 0, it's going to be where these lines intersect. So that's right here. So let's pretend that the design loaded here. My location is not at 0. So I can, for this machine, hit this little hoop with a plus in the middle, and that tells the machine to center the design. Now my location is 0, that means it is centered. So that's the first thing I had to teach you. Now we're going to hit go, and it's going to remind me to attach my hoop. So I attach my hoop. So now here we go, and I believe this is what the question really addressed, and it was, how can I make the needle go to the center of the design? And to me, that means that this person was asking, once I put this piece of fabric on here, if I have the machine located, if I have the design located at the center, I want to check my fabric to make sure that the machine and I are on the same page about where the center of the design is. So for this machine, we are going to go into design positioning. So the quick answer is yes, right? So remember, we talked about step 1 and step 2. Number 1 finds the point, my location, and step 2 takes me there. So if I look at the cursor, because the machine is going to go to the first stitch of the design, that's, upper middle of the design in this case. So I'm going to hit number 1 to find my spot. And if you guys look down here, there are some quick access tools. So if I hit this one, it's going to go to the upper left-hand corner of this design. If I go to this one, the lower left. If I go to this one, the lower right and the upper right. But here in the middle, this little plus brings me to the center of the design. So if we pretend I had a ready-made garment or a pocket or a piece of fabric here, I could then load the design, put the cursor in the center using this number 1 to get me there and the center button, and then number 2 would take me there. Now I know exactly where the center of the design is going to be, where the center of that design is going to stitch out in my hoop and on my fabric. And then I would just accept it. So I hope I answered your question. I think I did. And please feel free to contact us, and any questions you guys have, what you'd like to see for content, give us a thumbs up, share, and we would love to hear from you. So make sure you comment and tell me how we did. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. Keep stitching.